as we were discussing in the short, but I will also be channeling some guidance for my lovely YouTube viewers. And that's because it was meaning to be only that, but then another note came into the mix. And so, as I was saying the short, I just saw some person defining very much with their extreme left mode of the brain. They have no right mode there. It's cognitive dissonance. So many words I could use, I won't. Talking about a definition, and they said, we all know demonic spirits are real. I'm like, wait a minute, you don't know Patrick McNamara, neuroscientist, who explains how the brain works when nightmares are happening, and I'm a mystic, so no, I know that there's no demonic spirit that possesses people. When I've had the 4D mystics talk to me about human beings as energy vampires in dark auras, I've said, did you learn about trauma and attachment? Because I have those courses in my back pocket, and you obviously didn't learn about the human being embodied brain, and you have it. You also obviously didn't learn about what trauma actually looks like. So this definition that this human being, who apparently is a big spokesperson, is like the, what is it? I wrote down notes because I was like, wow, that's really great. He learned how to use his words. This is the Michael Stone scale from 7 to 14, the charming people. And it's, again, they think they're doing something good because, of course, that person does believe in demonic spirits possessing people. I've seen Netflix documentaries, and I'm like, wow, they should have people go there to talk about dissociative identity disorder, consciousness barriers, memory barriers, and how our embodied brain, our human being brain works, instead of actually continuing to perpetuate what is now mythology. I mean, everybody knows epilepsy is not caused by the wrath of the gods. Apparently, the majority, it's 2024. I think it's time. So yes, actually, the sciences people know this. The 5D mystics know this. The 5D collective will know of the words I speak. In fact, that's the only people that are going to be into IHP, because I bring human, spiritual, and spirituality elements together. So sciences and spirituality, they don't contrast. Now, nobody has all the answers to anything. No spirituality guru or me, or not. That's the whole point. Nobody has a truth. In fact, the entire academic field of, I don't know how many of the different subject matter experts, they are looking into the hard problem of consciousness, which a mystic, so I do smile about it, meaning when you're connected to the Akashic intelligence, and some of us are, we laugh. No, we smile because, of course, that's how the mind expands. So we're not afraid of people exploring things. We are in favor of education. That's the whole point of why science, spirituality here, nope, they're not taking away your divinity, but the people who do think of science as the enemy, and AI and technology, and apparently as people who say, no, you don't get demonically possessed, and they have proof. The people who don't accept it, I'm going to say, yes, they have a lot of ways to actually, yoga brings demons out of you. Go figure. That one really made me laugh when I heard about that one. The meat eaters. I heard this one. I'm like, who is this? And they were interviewing, I think it was somebody who claimed to be from the FBI. So all these titles, again, 7 to 14, Michael Stone, forensic criminologist, Evil Stone. If you're an inner adult, I'm woo-woo lady, but I'm an inner adult, and I'm hearing things, I laugh inside. And then as a mystic, I again smile at, yes, the sciences, they're not sciences. The people who come to people like me and actually are, what's the word? I haven't had that happen yet, but even if I did, I know that I would stand and say, I accept that you don't have the experience or perception of the hard problem of consciousness. I don't have a problem with it. I'm okay with your mannerisms, because I'm not trying to prove a truth. In fact, I'm simply having what is called a human being conversation. And you better bet that the adults, the 5D collective, we converse. So the only ones who will not, and that's why we won't actually speak. So when I've had people, they come pretty straightforward at you when they're completely decided. That's the beauty. The beauty is when somebody's reactive, which is what any person is, they will come decided. When somebody is wanting to use their words, and I've had that happen, I am, therefore, though, I should mention, I have a bachelor's in political science and a master's in international relations and diplomacy. So I learned all about rhetoric, and I learned all about these mechanisms. In fact, I was a teenager and I said, I need to not get angry and passionate like that, because my brain goes fuzzy. I started learning meta awareness way, yes, as a young person, because I'm like, how am I going to negotiate? And so what I was trying to get to is, in a conversation, there's many ways people like to approach each other. If you're trying to support people, you will do it with curiosity. And when they're not curious, people like myself, we won't really be anywhere except for curious. Yes, we're engaging with curiosity. So we won't notice. The ones who will potentially notice, which is why, as I said, if you get reactive, so if I notice that a person starts to get agitated, I know they don't like me anymore and they don't like something I'm saying. So I'm going to back off. Be like, you know what? I think we're disagreeing. Okay, so back to the whole demonic spirits that don't exist. That which seeks to hurt, kill, divide, demoralize is by definition a demonic spirit. I'm going to say it's a person who has 1 to 22 scale of evil, Michael Stone, trauma, stuff going on. They need support and help to get out of that very rigid and chaotic brain, the same way the charming people who are using their left mode, and then they have a good way of regurgitating material, because by definition, I love when the person says, by definition, it is a demonic spirit. Then the narrator said, and you all know demonic spirits exist, they're real. And I'm like, no. I know Patrick McNamara, a neuroscientist. He, in an interview, it's on The Well or Big Think, any one of you can go check it out. He explains what he's finding from his research. Of course, I mean, hey, he's still researching, yes, and the hard problem of consciousness, yes, but again, mystic here, so woo-woo for the people who want to call me woo-woo. I'm totally okay with it, but when it comes to Akashic intelligence and just the sphere of space, I mean, seriously, that's why there's a difference between the 5D mystics right now. We're like, wow, I didn't think I'd see 4D stick around. I really didn't. I was like, no. They have clairs. They're not going to stay in their ignorant. Oh, yes, they are. And no, I'm not talking about the religious. No, they have a role. I respect the religious institutions. In fact, what's humorous to me is when I see some of them saying, because, spirituality is something picking up, because it welcomes all differences. So there are spirituality leaders out there. And when a person is actually making it their mission to say, well, in an interview, this is on our lovely boxes of TV, but you can go online, you still find people talking about, again, yoga and it bringing the demon out of you, versus, no, you have trauma memory, thank you, Peter Levine, stored in your bones, your muscles, your tissues. But again, those same individuals who still talk about demonic spirits and demons, they don't believe the sciences, yet they don't want to call themselves flat earthers. And, again, all due respect, flat earthers, you could use your brains for something more amazing, but I get it. You want to prove something. It's important to you. That's the same thing goes for these people. So while they try to prove something that is being shared to them by the actual sciences people, the ones who know, this is where they might call me woo-woo, the sciences people, the ones that are the 5D educators, they're going to be like, okay, yeah, she's speaking some sense I am, because no, there's no demon that possesses you. The fear receptors in your brain, REM memory, REM, it helped and helps still our lovely species evolve. Again, Patrick McNamara, look him up. The Religious Self is a really great book he has. I got it. I haven't read it yet. He also talks about how we go through transformation. So he has 3 interviews on The Well or Big Think. You can check it out and find out a lot about him if you want to be informed, that is. If you want to continue to perpetuate lies, well, there you go. And yes, I said lies because, again, I do have the awareness of what it is to be a person that does not divide, demoralize, or think that hurting any person on the face of this planet is ideal. In fact, these people apparently want to hurt another group of people that they've decided are demonically possessed, and they're not. They are people who they don't like, and that they are finding ways to use their words, again, based on their own agenda. I don't like what you're doing, and I'm going to... It's a very interesting world we're in, but 5D, again, we are not flat earthers, so we understand that time is changing and people don't like AI, they're monsters, technology, that's where the divinity of you is taken away by advances in our species. Seriously. Again, 5D mystic here, love science and spirituality as it comes together. We talk about it, but in a way of personal development, not all that other stuff. However, I thought it was very important to share, yes, this and that are true, but then again, not in the way of saying that you are possessed by anything, because science shows that's not the case. There's a lot more to our embodied brain. people wanted to learn about it, they would. And so we get to support each other with trauma healing. Tune in.